with another banger, gang. All right, y'all. So today we had a controversial topic. The case of Karmelo Anthony, lies, race, and deceit. I'm gonna give y'all a quick little breakdown real quick. If you don't know, if you know, you understand. You ain't gotta, you feel me? If you don't know. So basically, Karmelo Anthony was a track. I think he played track. I believe he did. Was he do track? I did. It was track. He was a track star. Well, I'm gonna say a 5-star athlete. I'm putting it like that. I don't remember if he played track or football. It was either or. He's a 5-star athlete. And he was at a meet or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying, a meet or whatever. And I guess a boy from his rival, rivals his team. You know what I'm saying? They was into it basically into it or whatever before the track meet or whatever. Cool. So the Karmelo Anthony was in fear of his life for whatever reason. Why? I don't know exactly why. He was in fear for his life, so he brought a knife with him. Right? He brought a knife with him in his bag. So basically, Karmelo saw the dude or whatever, waited for the dudes to come say something wrong to him, and was like, bro, if you come mess with me, you come do anything, I dare you. I'm gonna show you what's up. Whatever, woo, etc. So the guy did it. The white guy did it. I don't remember the white guy thing. Rest in peace to him. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? I don't pick sides or anything. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I don't remember his name. I promise I don't. But the guy, he said something to Karmelo. Guy made them get into it or whatever. So Karmelo stabbed him on some self-defense. You know what I'm saying? He said it was self-defense. He said he felt in danger for his life. You feel me? And everything like that. So you know what I'm saying? Even though the white guy put his hands and everything on him first, which he did. But everybody's trying to say that, oh yeah, you initiated. You tried to get him to start with you because you told him to come do something to me. And I'm going to show you. Come do something to me, I'm going to show you. Not only did he do that, he ran from the scene saying he was scared. Which is understandable at his age, bro. Was like 15, 16 years old. Which is understandable at that age. You just did something that you don't, you feel me, that you know was wrong and everything like that. You might be scared and everything like that, which is totally understandable. You know what I'm saying? But some people don't see it that way. And I'm not even saying that he was right because I'm like... if you want I give my honest opinion at the end of the video because I want to have all the facts. You know what I'm saying? I'm going based off of what I kind of remember, so I don't want to get y'all. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get y'all no false information. Like 1090 Jake, bro, he give all the real good information, everything like that. I see Charleston around the screen. He been saying some stupid shit, but he right though. But don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I know I yapped for like 3 minutes. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry, chat. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe on the video. We on the way to 2 bands. If you rock with me, you rock with me, man. Let's get straight into the video, man. Let's see what's going on with Karmelo.
There's no self-defense because if you are afraid the day before where you have to take a weapon to school, why not notify your parents? You getting ready to run track with other kids and you got a knife on you. No, man, you got to go to jail.
Talking about he had a knife.
He ain't lying, bro. That's not self-defense, bro. It's self-defense to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? It is self-defense because, like, it's not no law that you can't walk around with. I mean, would that count as a weapon? It probably would count as a weapon that you're young. But you know what I'm saying, bro?
You damn right. If you a black man living in America, you better be walking around with talking about he had a knife. You got white boys riding around.
Bro, this nigga Dr. Umar, bro. I swear to God, bro. I can't take him.
Guns, and y'all crying about a knife.
The hard part that cost me is I lost my son. And his brother was holding him, trying to hold the blood in. And he passed. My son watched his brother die in his arms. I need a break. Oh, fuck. Jeff, first of all, my entire heart
why he trolling, bro? Wait, this is serious, bro. He's trolling, bro.
And I would be in my position, not even as somebody even knew your son, but somebody that shares the same understanding. I grew up as a 17-year-old young white man too, and I grew up in fear of my life around black people because they were killing and robbing people around me all the time. And I don't understand, as I was a father, you could sit idly by and not condemn the culture that killed your son.
Are you done?
Yes, I am, sir.
Okay, my turn to speak. You are part of the problem, my friend.
Confrontation between two teens left one dead and the country divided. In this video, we're going to be breaking down the criminal
I'm not gonna lie, bro. This is dick riding. I'm not even gonna lie. This is another thing, bro. Y'all putting this nigga mugshot And y'all making him seem like the most innocent white boy ever. Like, I ain't gonna lie. I'm not saying he wasn't innocent. I'm not saying that. But like, damn, y'all gonna put some ignorant pictures. You gonna put an ignorant picture of him. You gotta put an ignorant picture of him too. I feel like that's not fair because you trying to make it seem like they didn't color it in his mustache, so he looked like a fucking delinquent. They waited till he didn't get no haircut, nothing, so he looked like you feel me? Nah, bro, that's not cool.
Karmelo Anthony. April 2nd, 2025. It was 10 a.m. when the Staley Middle School resource officer heard over the radio there was a stabbing at the school track field. Frisco police would alert nearby officers an athlete was the victim, and the suspect was a black male wearing a gray hoodie and blue sweatpants. The school officer rushed to the stadium where two teens told him the victim was under the Memorial High School tent. Approaching the tent, an adult would point out the suspect, who remained on the track separated from the officer by a chain-link fence. The officer commanded the suspect to keep his hands in the air, and the suspect complied, saying, "I was protecting myself." As the officer placed the suspect in handcuffs, the suspect said, "He put his hands on me." The officer sat the suspect on the ground while advising backup over the radio. He had the alleged suspect. The suspect then stated, "I'm not alleged, I did it." By this point, the suspect had the right to remain silent. He just didn't have the ability. While walking him to the police vehicle, the suspect became emotional, crying hysterically as he said, "He put his hands on me. I told him not to." While in the back seat, he then asked officers if the victim was going to be okay. The suspect would identify himself as 17-year-old Karmelo Anthony, a student from Frisco Centennial.
Yeah, that's all I remember. He played track and football. That's why I couldn't remember. But the other guy, he just did track.
While this was going on, athletic trainers along with the Frisco Fire Department were attempting to save the victim. The weather turned to a heavy downpour of rain, causing the fire department to place a tent over the victim. A police officer began using his phone to photograph the crime scene, as others began taping off the area and moving non-essential people out of the stadium. Officers were informed the weapon used had been tossed, with a witness stating it was in the bleachers. Officers discovered the folding knife, partially open and still bloody, deciding to cover it with a tarp. An officer grabbed a backpack to weigh the tarp down, noticing it was the only backpack from Centennial High, as all the others were from Memorial. It was later discovered this was the suspect's backpack. The victim, identified as 17-year-old Austin Metcalf, was a Memorial High student. Investigators would learn
What's his name? I don't want to keep saying the other guy.
Metcalf was the victim, identified as 17-year-old Austin Metcalf, was a Memorial High student. Investigators would learn the stadium was hosting a track and field championship with multiple schools in attendance. The stabbing took place under the Memorial High School pop-up tent in the visitors' bleachers. A witness would tell police he was sitting under the tent with his team and was near his teammate Austin as everything played out. Austin told the suspect, Karmelo, that he needed to move out from under their team's tent. Not only did Karmelo go to a different school, he was under their tent wearing Centennial High clothing. Karmelo grabbed his backpack, opened it, and reached inside telling Austin, "Touch me and see what happens."
That's the thing, bro. You initiated that shit. That's not self-defense, bro. If it's self-defense, you would have waited on him, you feel me, to do something to you. And he said, well, I mean, is that really? Hold on, look at me.
Reached inside telling Austin, "Touch me and see what happens." The witness told officers,
is that still self-defense? He said, touch me and see what, is that? But at the end of the day, though, if we being for real, motherfuckers got their own choices. You, at the end of the day, y'all 16, 17 years old, bro. Y'all grown. Y'all know the difference between right and wrong, bro. Y'all know the consequences of y'all actions, and he still chose to do it. He didn't force him to do it. He didn't take over his man to do it, bro. He had his own physical ability, and he went and did it. That's the only thing I'm kind of
thought Karmelo had any weapons, so
something I'm iffy about. I mean, I say the only thing.
Karmelo then told Austin to punch him and see what happens. A short time later, Austin grabbed Karmelo to tell him to move, and Karmelo pulled out what the witness described as a black knife, stabbing Austin once in the chest before running away. Austin began grabbing his chest, telling everyone to get help, and shortly after, he'd lose consciousness, stop breathing, and never wake up again. 2 more witnesses were found breathing heavily and crying, one of which was identified as the victim's younger brother. He was unable to say much, but his friend said they were sitting on the bleachers under the Memorial High School tent. A male wearing a different school's clothes came and sat down, so Austin told him since he didn't go to Memorial, he had to leave the tent. While arguing, Austin was stabbed and the suspect ran.
See, now I feel like, nah, I don't know, bro. Cause I ain't gonna lie, if you knew he wasn't supposed to sit in that tent, why would you go sit over there? If you knew he was into with them niggas, why would you go over there? That's the thing, you was looking for a problem. And I ain't gonna lie, and the more that I really sit here and think about, like, damn, bro, like, this shit crazy, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. This shit is insane. This shit is crazy, like, the different angles that you can really take this case from. But if we really speaking on some real, like, bro, what makes sense? If you know you're not supposed to be over there, why is you going over there? You know that's not your school and not your people, why is you over there? You're not gonna just go sit, especially if you don't like them niggas. Why is you over, bro? You see what I'm saying, bro? That shit don't make no sense.
Austin's younger brother
He was looking, he really
held
ready
on
to
to
kill
his
him.
older brother as he lost consciousness, bleeding out in his brother's arms. It was 10:46 a.m. when Austin was brought into the trauma bay at the hospital. 7 minutes later, he was pronounced dead. His heart had been pierced, and he bled to death. Officers listed student witnesses from Lebanon High, Liberty High, Memorial High, Frisco High, Independence High, and Emerson High. Centennial High's head coach told officers he heard his athlete confess to the stabbing, while 2 coaches from Independence High School witnessed the stabbing. Karmelo Anthony would be charged with first-degree murder and transported to the Collin County Jail. Under Texas law, even at 17 years old, Karmelo could and would be charged as an adult. His bond would be set at $1 million. Immediately following his arrest, social media would divide black versus white. Some of the black community would come to the immediate defense of Karmelo, stating it was purely self-defense and he's only been arrested because of the fact that his victim is white. They'd also claim the victim in this case was the aggressor. While GoFundMe doesn't allow funding lawyers for criminal cases, apparently GiveSendGo does, and over $500,000 has been raised for Karmelo, with a list of donation comments raising concern amongst journalists. One anonymous donation would label Karmelo an anti-bullying hero, a scholar, and a gentleman. A donator named Black Excellence would donate again, stating, "The more these hateful whites show their insecurities and fragilities of losing dominance. Sending love, light, and justice to King Karmelo." Rock from Atlanta would comment, "We are the defenders of our lineage. This is America, and these flat..."
One thing about black people, bro, we turn everything into a race thing. I don't know why we do that. And I don't know, bro. Like, I don't know. We just find everything to be a race thing. And I don't even think this had nothing to do with race. I just feel like this just had something to do with niggas just be on some dumb shit. White people be on some dumb shit. I feel like this is the people thing. This is people just stupid. I'm not gonna lie.
Immigrants from all over the world has always been open enemies towards foundational black Americans from day one. No more. Some in the white community would also speak out, stating this wasn't self-defense, it was flat-out murder. Many would be enraged at the fact that Austin's killer was being praised for being black and killing a white. The donations spoke for themselves, literally, and many have also stated if the races were reversed and the victim was black, there would be riots and looting. Karmelo's actions and Austin's death was now being politicized and used by radicals on both sides to justify prejudice. In simpler terms, it didn't matter who was right or wrong because the ones speaking out don't care about Karmelo or Austin. They care about their own agenda. Things would heat up again on April 14, 2025, when Judge Angela Tucker reduced Karmelo's bond from $1 million down to $250,000. She also agreed to release him based on his clean criminal record and his athletic/academic background. Karmelo would then be released under the conditions he wear an ankle monitor and be supervised by a parent at all times. Judge Tucker's decision would cause her to receive violent and racist threats on social media, leaving her with no choice but to privatize her Twitter. Judge Tucker's personal security has also been temporarily increased as the FBI investigate anyone who released private or personal information about her, as they plan to charge those responsible with unlawful disclosure of a resident's address or telephone number and obstruction or retaliation. Karmelo and his family would also be targeted through death threats and harassment. People would visit his home, loitering and taking pictures, while others would make false food delivery orders and send hate mail, including Austin's obituary. It became common for people to circle the home in their vehicles to essentially provoke fear and intimidation. Karmelo's family would have no choice but to use donation funds to relocate to an undisclosed location. But this harassment wasn't one-sided. Frisco police would receive a phone call reporting a shooting at Austin Metcalf's father's home. Another shooting would be reported at his mother's home. This would happen a total of 3 times, all 3 being...
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, y'all taking this shit too far. I'm not even gonna lie, that's not even that fucking serious. The nigga, bro, y'all tweaking, bro. I ain't gonna lie, as a generation of people, as a world that we come into, bro, this shit is horrible. I'm not even gonna lie, like, this not even no race thing no more. This is just niggas just being ignorant. This is ignorance. I'm not even gonna lie. Why is you going up and shooting up these people's houses? Like, bro, they ain't even had shit to do with it. They wasn't even there, my nigga. They wasn't even there. Y'all shooting up these people's houses and shit. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Bro, and like, bro, people be tweaking, for like, I ain't gonna let this, ooh, that shit, it is kind of, this whole case is slick starting to irritate me because this is so stupid. Like, y'all making this shit, I mean, I understand why the case is big. I understand that, but y'all doing too fucking much, bro. Like, y'all tripping. Bro, like, it ain't even that, it's serious, but like, why is y'all shooting up these people's homes? They ain't even had nothing to do with this. And you weird motherfuckers that showing up to his mama and dough and all this other weird goofy shit, you weird as hell too. Your ass should've, that's some weird shit, because if your ass would've got popped for trespassing, then what? And then Texas is open carry state. Motherfucker pop your ass. They ain't nothing to play with. I'm spitting this shit. Texas is open carry state. Motherfuckers will pop you. Like, bro, you tweaking. You coming to standing. Bro, I swear to this. I'm waiting for a motherfucker trying to. Motherfucker came to my crib, standing at my door because of a case or some shit, and all this other shit, and I'm in an open carry. Boy, I'm popping your ass as soon as I open the door. Fuck that, you getting shot through the peephole. Fuck is you talking about? Peep that nigga on bro grade.
In which an anonymous person contacts police, and they respond to what they believe to be a violent situation.
Y'all ass tweaking.
Swatting has even led to innocent people being killed by police. Austin's father, Jeff, has been making headlines himself as he attempted to make peace with his son's killer's family and pray together at a press conference held for Karmelo. Instead, he was escorted out by police, with Karmelo's family apparently uninterested in making amends.
What we seen at the beginning of this press conference, the father being at this press conference, these are my words, don't quote anybody, is a disrespect to the dignity of his son. That was disrespectful and just shows you all the character who is not invited. He knows that it's inappropriate to be near this family.
The main voice speaking for the Anthony family was not actually a member, but the so-called minister, Dominique Alexander. Describing himself as a minister of justice, political, civil, and human rights activist, and supporter of Black Lives Matter, his suit, tie, and slow way of speaking aligns with more of a gimmick from a man with an agenda. Come to find out, Dominique has a long criminal history himself and served prison time for abusing a baby. Back in July of 2009, he was babysitting his girlfriend's 2-year-old son when he called her telling her to get home now. He didn't tell her why, and when she arrived, the child was unresponsive. He claimed he'd walked into another room and heard the baby boy fall off the couch as he was watching a movie. When he walked back in, the boy's eyes looked funny, later telling a detective they rolled to the back of his head. The 2-year-old boy was placed in the intensive care unit and discovered to have a subdural hemorrhage at the back of his head, meaning blood around his brain. He also had retinal hemorrhaging, meaning bleeding in both of his eyes. The severity of the boy's injuries were ruled inconsistent with falling off a couch and more consistent with abusive head trauma and physical abuse. Dominique would later plead guilty in this case. Dominique would address his multiple arrests from theft, forgery, stealing a car, making a false police report. The list goes on. He'd say social media would try to shame him, but ended up showing his testimony. That when he first stepped into activism in 2014, he didn't hide who he was, and he was even named Person of the Year for the Dallas Observer's People Edition in 2015. But in 2019, Dominique would be arrested for striking and pushing his girlfriend.
Dominique Alexander, the founder of the Next Generation Action Network, was indicted today on a charge of continuous violence against the family. That's a third-degree felony. He was arrested back in April after his girlfriend, Kiera Saunders, told police Alexander assaulted her. However, in an affidavit filed before today's indictment, Saunders says she doesn't want any part of the prosecution.
Regardless, this was the face of Karmelo Anthony's family. A man whose sole purpose is speaking against so-called race.
I don't know, bro. That's a little odd, ain't it? That's a little weird, ain't it? Why am I tripping? If I'm tripping. But that's a little odd, ain't it? All that, and then you, I don't know. See, if not just white people, but black, bro. Officials be corrupt as fuck, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. But everybody people too, bro. Everybody not no perfect human being. You know what I'm saying? But putting your hands on a woman and a baby, but I ain't gonna lie, that's crazy. I don't understand how you would. I want to
target black men.
I'm not even gonna lie.
He was now taking this opportunity to make Karmelo the victim who had to defend himself against his white attacker. So let's look at the facts. Karmelo was an athlete from Centennial High. During a track and field competition, he chose to sit under an opposing school's tent. Austin.
Right, why the fuck would you do that? That's the whole thing. Why the fuck would you do that? Like,
athlete from Memorial High and confronted Karmelo about being under his team's tent. Austin would grab.
Oh, bro, that's like if you playing basketball, you sit on the other team bench. Why the fuck is you over here? Like, trying to, bro, like, why are you trying to, bro, why is you over here?
Backpack telling him to leave and eventually push Karmelo, while Karmelo would grab his backpack, reaching inside, telling Austin, touch me and see what happens. Austin would continue, which led to Karmelo pulling out the knife and stabbing him. Now my boy JD DeLay would break down Texas self-defense laws perfectly.
Constitutes lawful self-defense. It's all going to depend on what state you're in because each state has different laws. But for the sake of relevant current events, let's talk about the state of Texas. Texas has the best self-defense laws out of any state in the country. They have stand your ground laws, which means that you do not have to retreat. You're allowed to defend yourself if somebody threatens or physically harms you. But you're only allowed to use proportional violence. So if somebody's coming at you with hands and you shoot them, you could be in a lot of trouble. All depends on the valid and articulable threat that was there at the time. Somebody's coming after you with a gun or a knife, then you are definitely in your realm to be able to use lethal force. However, this does require that you did not instigate the incident and that you are not somewhere that you are not supposed to be.
He didn't instigate it. He's somewhere he's supposed to be. He's on his tent. He's in his tent with his people. Why ask somebody from the opposite team? Why are you over here?
Instigated the incident. If you are somewhere you don't belong or if you use excessive force, self-defense is out the window. Like I said, this is specifically applicable to the state of Texas and their laws, so know the law where you live. Might just save your life or keep your ass out of prison.
In this situation, not only was Karmelo somewhere he wasn't supposed to be, as he didn't go to Memorial High, and should have been with his own team, he was armed with a weapon he wasn't supposed to have. His mere presence during a competition.
Bro, he definitely getting that charge. He definitely getting that charge for sure. The weapon charge, he definitely getting that. They definitely getting that.
Provoking an opposing.
If he beat this murder case that they trying to put on him, he's definitely getting a murder charge though. I mean, he definitely getting a weapons charge though for sure.
After being confronted, Karmelo would reach in his bag saying, "Touch me and see what happens." The fact that Karmelo ran track, if he was in fear for his life, he literally just could have ran. But in a stand your ground case, he doesn't legally have to. But Austin wasn't threatening to kill, use a weapon, or even beat him. He was telling him to leave. So Karmelo using deadly force as self-defense seems very unjustified. But also telling someone, "Touch me and see what happens," can qualify as instigating the incident.
Oh, bro.
If a gang member walks to a rival gang's territory with an illegal weapon, daring a rival gang member to touch him so he can legally kill him, that doesn't qualify as self-defense. So if an opposing athlete sits in an opposing team's area with a concealed weapon and stabs someone when confronted, I don't see how he can claim self-defense. Karmelo would show emotion.
I ain't gonna lie. I don't see how Karmelo getting out of this one, bro. I'm not gonna lie. When I first heard this case, I'm like, oh damn, Karmelo innocent to the up. But nah, reading this, I ain't gonna lie, bro. It's not looking good for bro.
Crying after the incident, even asking if Austin was okay. This shows compassion. And while a former FBI agent claims from her experience Karmelo was using an insane Vice Lord's gang sign while holding an AK-47, the full picture would show Karmelo at a friend's house holding a BB gun in which the orange tip has been removed. No more extreme than Austin and his brother holding real guns. Karmelo wasn't a thug. He came from a nice job with two parents in an affluent area. He held a job at a kid's Foot Locker, was captain of the football team and track team. Should he have had a knife? No. But how many teen boys have carried pocket knives? Just because he's black doesn't mean he was looking to stab someone that day.
Yes, he was.
I think
the fuck he was, because you're not finna just bring no knife to no track meet. You at a fucking track meet, nigga. A track meet to bring a knife? Bro, come on, bro. Like, a track meet, bro. What could pop off at a track meet? If you not know gang shit. If you not know gang shit, why you gotta bring a knife to a track meet, bro?
Pride and ego led to an irreversible decision. I think regret and compassion should weigh on the scale of justice. I don't think Karmelo was innocent of murder, but I also don't think he placed himself there with the intent to kill. Looking at their athletic stats, Austin was 6 foot tall and 220 pounds, while Karmelo was 5'10", 175 pounds. Karmelo resorted to a weapon out of fear, but I don't believe he feared for his life. I believe he feared he'd get beat up. Unfortunately, I don't think this fear meets the legal qualification to kill someone in self-defense. I also feel his self-defense won't stand because he provoked Austin by saying, "Touch me and see what happens." When Austin touched him, he then said, "Hit me and see what happens." It would be different if he displayed the knife and told him he's prepared to defend himself. In the end, a teenage athlete died while another faces prison, and countless people with nothing better to do are using this to fuel political agendas. Now, this case is tragic, controversial. There's a lot of elements to this case, right? And it's going to be difficult for them to find jurors that
I'm going to stop it right there, bro, because that's all I really need to hear. I'm not going to lie, bro. If you want my personal, honest opinion on this, bro guilty. I'm not going to lie. I mean, this shit don't add up, bro. Like, this shit don't make no sense, bro. You walk to the op shit, right? Wanting to fuck with them, right? So they can fuck with you. Do something that fuck with you. That's, what's the word I'm trying to use? You antagonizing them at this point. You want them to do something to you. You constantly fuck with them. You fucking with them now. They was over there cooling, man, on their own shit. 2, you brought a weapon with you. You were prepared to use that motherfucker. If you bring something with you, you prepared to use it. You need it. You feel like you need it. You prepared to use it. That's number 2. Number 3. He want to say self-defense, but you told him to do it. Well, like I said, you could tell a motherfucker to do a lot. But if them actually do it, that's on them. I'm not even gonna lie. That's some real shit. I feel like if you tell somebody to do some shit, that's on them. That's not on. You feel me? That's that. But this whole trying to make this about race and all this other shit, no, bro. Like, and honestly, we don't know like why they really into it. We don't know the whole reason behind that. They want to assume that it's race because they don't know, but I feel like I slicked out there. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Don't even seem like a racist. I'm not even gonna lie. I know a racist when I see one. But you know what I'm saying? You can't never judge a book by its cover, bro. Everybody know that. But in my opinion with this case, bro, I feel like Karmelo guilty, bro. And it's just like, damn, bro. You just threw your life away for nothing, bro. You tried it, but it didn't work how you thought it was gonna work, bro. And that shit. We got to do better as a community. We got to do better as a world, bro, because this world is horrible. Not just white and black. Everybody be tripping, bro. I'm not even going to lie, bro. You feel me? And I hate that everybody try to say, oh, as a black man, white people got a lot to fit, too. White people feel black people because niggas be tweaking. And I ain't going to lie. I don't fear no man. I don't fear nobody. That's facts. You know me. But I feel more uncomfortable. I ain't going to lie. That's crazy. Sometimes, bro, I feel more comfortable around my own black people than I feel comfortable around white people. Not all white people be racist, but not all black people be tweaking. But it just depends on where and who you surround yourself around. You know what I'm saying? So I hope that what I just said means something to you. And you think, you feel me? If y'all agree with me, go ahead, drop in the comments. Y'all do. Don't start arguing this shit. Because if y'all start arguing, I'm turning the comments off. I don't got time for that shit. Yeah, I'm not arguing back and forth with you either. Go ahead, drop in the comments how you feel about this case. I told y'all how I feel about it. You know what I'm saying? That's all I got to say about it, bro. I feel like he shouldn't have did that. I feel like he's guilty. I'm not going to lie.